Welcome to Strength Series with Jay. This show is about one thing, getting you strong. So join me as I lead you through 12 progressive workouts that will have you overcoming the impossible in no time. Welcome back to Strength Series with Jay. I'm here with Val, and now that we've done our warm-up and we've done our circuit training, we're gonna really get started on working towards things like chin-ups, Turkish get-ups, kettlebell swings, and a lot of strength and higher intensity moves. So the rest of the series, we're gonna follow this similar structure. So make sure you take it slow through this first one and that you understand what's really going on. And through the whole 12-part series, we're gonna follow a very similar back and forth supersetting between exercises. So we'll get started right away. And Val, we're gonna start with a goblet squat. So with Val, I'm gonna use a heavier kettlebell. You're gonna pick the heaviest one that you have that you can handle comfortably now. So it's not like the warm-up. We're gonna set it in front of you and it's gonna feel like you're doing a front plank. So she's gonna grip it very tight. She's gonna be tight through her midsection, tight through her glutes to start, feet evenly rooted. From there, we're gonna slowly take our time coming down. Not too slow, but yeah, that's good. Tighten up and drive right up. Good. So with this kettlebell squat, we're gonna do 8 reps. We're gonna go back and forth between this exercise and a mobility drill. And what I want you to look out for is that when you come down, I'm gonna make you hold for a second, spend 1 second pushing into the ground so you feel everything in your hips turn on first, then come up. So that way it ensures there's gonna be no tipping forward. Good, so let's go to the side just to show another one. So come down, get everything tight, and you should rise straight up out of the hole. Do one where you tilt forward. You shouldn't see these hips rise up and back first. So what's happening if you do that is you're kicking the ground away, shooting your bum back. Let's do a bad one. So down, stick your bum up and back, and then use your back to come up. So if you want to be down into your hips, Val apparently can't squat improperly, and then back up. Good. So I'll take that away. So between your working set or your heavy set, you're always going to do a mobility drill. Over the course of this series, we're going to slowly work towards getting into a good overhead position. So when it's time for things like chin-ups and Turkish get-ups, that you're not compromised when you go overhead. So at this one, we'll be straight arms at first, so you can slide back just a little bit more. What you're going to do is sit up, take a big inhale, and as you exhale, you're going to rock your hips back and think of it as stretching through your lats, but also opening up your upper back. Then inhale to come up again, exhale to go down. And we're also going to do this for 8 reps. What you should look out for, you can just keep going, Val, is that you're not faking it by driving your head way forward and that you're getting no pinches in the front of your shoulders. If you are, there's some things you can do. You can practice pushing the bench away so your shoulder blades sweep away and upwardly rotate. Or depending on the person, you might want to tuck your shoulder blades in and feel like they're prying your upper back open. Where you should feel this again, and it could be different, you might feel your triceps a little bit, you might definitely feel your lats, but you want to feel your upper back mobilizing, like the spine actually opening up, everything staying nice and straight. The longer you can exhale, the more you'll probably open up that upper back. Good. So let's do one more round of that again. So when you're doing this at home, you'll be back and forth 3 times between each. You're gonna take a couple minutes to go back and forth, so the mobility drill should take you about a minute anyways. Then take another minute, and you're gonna do perfect squats like Val here. Good, so you can see her feet are planted firmly. Her big toes are staying on the ground, her heels are staying on the ground, and her knees are tracking out towards midfoot, pinky toe area. There's no tilting of her pelvis. And she's forming that nice, straight, tight plank at the top. That's 8. And then we'll go back right there. So we're rushing the rest a little bit here, but this mobility drill counts as part of your rest. So if you have a timer timing your rest, it would be going right now. Let's go one more, Val. Full exhale. Good. All right. So we're gonna move on to pushing and pulling. Val's gonna start with a ring row with a twist. So twisting the rings, there's no twist to the exercise. All right, so palms start down. This is very similar to how you're gonna do a ring chin up later on in the series. You're gonna initiate by pulling with your back and your shoulder blade, so you squeeze them tight together, pull up, finish palms up as if you had just done a chin up. So you're gonna do 8 for right now, Val. The tempo on the way down is controlled, but you don't have to be obsessive about how long it takes as long as you're controlling your way back down and you really stick that top position. So that top position is an opportunity for you to fix everything that might have got out of line and make sure you lower yourself properly. So we're gonna do 8 reps. And then if you notice, Val's shoulders stay down all the time, so let's do one more. So I go shoulders down away from my ears, then I get my shoulder blades together, then really open up and stick. Perfect, let's leave it there. Good, then you'll take 30 to 60 seconds rest, then we'll go to our push. So Val's gonna form a plank on her hands, and these are called SCAP push-ups or shoulder blade push-ups, and they're actually harder than they look. I actually find them harder than normal push-ups for some reason. So what you're gonna do is you gotta be tight belly, tight bum, head on straight the way Val is here, and then think of squeezing your shoulder blades tight to my hands, and then pushing and prying them apart. And it's okay if you get a bit of rounding here. It's in fact good for this, and push again. So Val's not letting her head drop, which will be common, and she's not bending her arms. So as you start doing this, don't be surprised if it feels like a really small range of motion. Good. So actually for these 2 exercises, you're gonna do between 10 and 15 reps here, between 10 and 15 reps here, and you'll go back and forth 3 times, similar to the squat and mobility drill. I would say you wouldn't move on from these exercises until you can complete the full 15 reps here, full 15 reps there, 3 times. So let's call that 10, and then let's do one more round. So here Val's doing 2 rounds, you're gonna do 3 rounds, and we'll just do this 10 times. So we'll do the minimum amount. If you need to make this just a little bit harder, you start to walk your feet further under the rings. If you need to make it easier, you walk your feet out. And then for this exercise, I set the rings to about the level of your pelvis. And when you're going for that full 15 reps to allow you to move on to the next exercise, you do want your feet to be in line right with where the rings are set up. But as you're starting the program, you can start it anywhere you want. Again, the further back, the easier it is for you. And really think of how much movement your shoulder blades have as you pull. You don't want to get to this point and then fake it again by just driving your elbows back and rolling into the front of your shoulders. 10, and Val would be taking about a minute here to recover again, but we're gonna fast forward through that and just throw her right into the SCAP push-up. So, firm plank, grip the ground tight, and as much movement as you can get and control through your shoulder blades all around this straight, stable spine. Nice, Val. And I like to think less of the pressure on my hands. I think more about almost pulling and prying my shoulder blades apart and around my body. This first time might be good to video yourself or check in the mirror because you'd be surprised how hard it is to really push and get this up to the sky. And you'd be surprised how much your head might drop down as you're doing it. Nice, Val. Okay, again, so Val would have finished 3 rounds of this. Then we're gonna move on. So we're gonna be doing planks and shoulder external rotations. So with this exercise, you can tie it again to a post. I'm gonna hold it here for Val. So this is called, it's a shoulder external rotation, but it's in the scapular plane. So what that means is, I'm just gonna show before we start, is that when she's doing this, she's gonna put her shoulder in such a position that the shoulder blade is wrapped firmly around the body and she doesn't have to worry about where this is and controlling it. Because without a straight spine and your shoulder blade in the right position, it's not really useful to do this exercise. So Val will start, yeah, exactly. So you're gonna start about 90 degrees to your body. So you'd be facing me. And then once you're 90 degrees, you're just gonna slightly turn towards that hand, keeping your elbow in the same spot in space. So elbow will come slightly towards me. I'll just move you a little bit here, like so. There. And from here, you should feel, you can start rotating. We're gonna do this 8 times. You should feel like it's purely the shoulder rotating in the socket. I'm gonna hold this. Some things to look out for is that you're not pulling that whole shoulder down, or you're not pulling with your back. Everything is in a stable, like straight position, and it's just rotation. So we'll say Val just got her 8th rep and that she's done it on both sides, so that's good. And then she's between both sides, she's gonna go straight into a plank. Rest can be shorter now. You can take about 30 seconds in between. So for the plank, you're gonna hold it for 30 seconds. This might take longer to describe things, Val, if you're okay with that. What you want is to get full tension and good alignment everywhere, with the exception of your neck in terms of tension. So I think of gripping the ground, or I'll make fists, pull the ground down towards your toes to engage your lats, tighten up your belly, squeeze your bum cheeks to rotate your pelvis under you, because if you're sagging here, you're just resting on your spine, you're not really doing a core drill. And then think of being long through your entire body, relaxed through your neck. Once you've got that position, it's just a matter of holding tension and breathing deep. So you breathe in deep through your whole midsection in a big circle, full exhales. Another thing you can do is let all your air out, like really push air out, and then you'll be hanging on your abs with no air. And you'll do that for 30 seconds. That's good. So you'll go back and forth between these two exercises. They're very straightforward, but they're gonna set the foundation for things in the future. And then the last thing we're gonna do is a stretch to finish. So Val is gonna do a lat stretch. I'll give you this ring. You can do a band, or you can grab a post, or you can grab your rings if they're already set up. So in order of operations, we're gonna go palm up first. And I think of it as coming from the shoulder. So you can try it the bad way and then try rotating and feel how that's different. So it corkscrews this shoulder into its socket. Then you're gonna sit back. If you have a band, you're gonna find as much tension as you feel comfortable holding without feeling like you have to fight it or that you're vulnerable. And then you're just gonna rotate this rib cage up and take big breaths into here. So you're gonna finish your workout with this. It's just gonna take a minute on each side. Make sure your palm stays up. And then you can keep rotating, moving around as long as you're taking deep breaths through here. So that's it for this workout. Again, we're gonna follow a similar structure. All these exercises though, we're gonna try to increase in complexity and in intensity. So take your time through these. Make sure you've got a good foundation before we move on. And thanks for watching.